when the invaders is coming to your home and raping your women, killing the kids and stuff, what you need to do? You need to kill them, that's it, even if you will die. So it's very, very easy. It's not heroism or something, it's not being a hero. It's being normal man, you know, standing your ground, nothing special.
This is my interview with my friend Nikolai Mikulich, who had a reputation before the war as being one of the best firearms instructors in Ukraine, but when I interviewed him here in Kyiv, was recovering from being near fatally injured on the front line just a few weeks before. So I first met Kolya the first time I went to Ukraine last summer in 2021, and he taught me how to shoot a pistol and a semi-automatic. And aside from being a great instructor, he was also just super funny and smart and well connected to so many people in the military and the police because of his job, so fascinating to listen to. So the second time I went to Kyiv last December, I introduced him to some other Ukrainian friends, and this interview was shot the last time I went to Kyiv a few weeks ago in October 2022, which was when Putin was illegally annexing 4 regions in eastern Ukraine and making nuclear threats, so quite a tense time. Kolya had been hit by shrapnel in multiple parts of his body just a few weeks before. So one piece of shrapnel went through his calf muscle, severing a nerve, which means that he can no longer lift his right foot. And another piece of shrapnel smashed through his forehead, stopping just before it hit his brain. So I was very worried that, of course, he'd be changed for the worse. But in fact, as you'll see in the interview, he was in great shape. He was in super high spirits, high energy, and if anything, was even more himself than he had been before the war. Kolya brought along a friend of his, Dmitri Shatrovskiy, who was injured in the same battle as him. Dima was hit by a ricocheting bullet that pierced his skull. And when we were having lunch before the interview, Dima was telling me how he saw his brain in his hand as he was walking back from the front line to be treated. He couldn't speak for a week and a half and had to relearn how to speak from scratch. So his English is not as fluent as Kolya's. But just like Kolya, when he was speaking Russian, he seemed like he was in great form. And since this interview was shot, he's had a plate put in his skull and is recovering great. So Dmitri is a senior commander in the Azov Battalion and also head of the Veteran Brotherhood. The Azovs are a self-organizing military battalion that formed in 2014 to fight the Russians when they invaded then. And these are the people Putin is talking about when he talks about denazifying Ukraine. So my opening question to the two of them in this interview was a joke about how a supposed Nazi was sitting next to a Jewish guy because Kolya's Jewish. And then that led Kolya to talk about his Jewish family history, which was fascinating and which I didn't know about before. But in Ukraine, the Azovs are celebrated as absolute heroes because they refused to surrender during the siege of Mariupol. So anywhere you go in Ukraine now, you'll see these enormous banners calling for the release of Azov prisoners of war. We cover lots of topics in this interview, but the most striking part for me was when Kolya talked about the fact that he fully expected to die in the first 2 months of the war. And he talks about it like it's the most ordinary thing, like he's talking about what he had for breakfast. You know, usually when you see heroism depicted in films, it's always really grandiose and dramatic. And yet Kolya talks about it like it's just the most normal thing, like it's totally unremarkable. This was amazing to me, and I'd never encountered this before, and I think it's a very rare thing. If you would like to learn more about Kolya and Dmitri, you can follow their Telegram channels. I will put links in the description below. But for the time being, please enjoy my interview with Nikolai Mikulich and Dmitri Shatrovskiy. Dmitri, you're an Azov. You're one of the people, one of the Nazis Putin's been trying to get rid of. And Kolya, you're Jewish. Yeah. Somehow you guys are friends.
Yes. Yeah.
And before I make
we're still keeping some distance, you see. Yeah.
Not close.
I'm Jewish because my father is Jewish and my grandmother was Jewish, and part of my family is Ukrainian. It's like Polish land, and they were brought by force to the Soviet Union after the World War II. There was like Operation Wisla, which was about moving some nations out of their place of living to other places. This was to make, a peace between Ukrainian nationalists and Polish nationalists, because in Poland there was part of people who were Christians of Orthodox style, and in Ukraine there was like Polish native people who were like Catholics. So when they start killing each other, it was even before the World War II, a long time before World War II. So Stalin decided to solve. He see the perfect solution to take these people out to Poland and these people from Poland out to Soviet Union. And the idea maybe was not so bad in these circumstances, but the realization, as usual in Soviet Union and Russian culture, was very, very bad, because they took people out of their houses. Actually, my grandmother had a child which was like 2 weeks old at the moment they get out of Poland to Ukraine, and they were dropped in the middle of nowhere. You understand? They took them from the houses. They didn't let them to collect property or something. They give them like half hour or 40 minutes. This was Polish communists, by the way. Polish communists from the Stalin part of so they give them like half hour or an hour to pick all their stuff that they can carry, and they put them on the commercial, on this truck, not truck, the train,
Cargo
train, yeah, not for people at all. Like, and it was cold and it was very bad conditions, and they bring them to Ukraine and drop them in the middle of nowhere. So they start living in Western Ukraine, and my part of my family are from this side, and other part is like Jewish and Belarusian family of my grandmother and grandfather. So I'm like mixed. I have a lot of ethnicities in my blood, and him also. You can look at him like ex-Azov fighter, but if you look at his face, it's just same as Azerbaijani, shawarma traders on the corner. So it's like kebab makers or something. So
Kebab makers. looks like rock band.
Traditional kebab
like
makers.
Kebab makers.
But I love him. He's a good guy,
Did you guys know each other before the war, or did you get to know each other? Oh, okay.
Of course. He was actually participating in Ukrainian-Russian war from the beginning, almost from the beginning. When he was
2014.
2014, yeah.
In summer, in
Spring.
spring,
Весна?
summer, half a summer,
2014.
2014.
It was the hottest part of the war in beginning. It was after the Crimea, and war started in Donbas area, because in Crimea it was almost
Ilovaisk.
without. And Ilovaisk, it was Ukrainian forces surrounded in the city of Ilovaisk, and then trying to go back because they were surrounded. But the Russian army bring like 6,000 troops to Ukraine, and they just killed almost half of the people who were closed in this city during the exit. And the exit was also supposed to be organized on the Ukrainian and Russian military command. They were talking about letting them out from the Ilovaisk, that Russian will give them like green corridor to go out, but the Russian, as I remember, Russian told that they need to leave all their weapons in Ilovaisk and move without weapons, and Ukrainians say that it's impossible. And any case, without some, final agreement, the Ukrainian part start trying to go back, and Russians start shooting, and that was like massacre. This was first massacre of Russian, army. It was actually Russian army, not Russian volunteers, not Russian terrorists like Girkin or all these guys in Donetsk. It was Russian army that participated in this massacre, but Russians told like it's not us, we are not there, stuff like that. So he's like fighting from the beginning, and I joined. I was training Ukrainian military because I was like firearms instructor, and I served in Israeli army a long time before. So I was training Ukrainian National Guard and Ukrainian Airbornes for some periods to shoot firearms, and because they had like zero experience at that moment, and it was necessary to train them. Now it's much better. Like in the last 8 years, the Ukrainian army is doing much better than even I expected. But that
Also
time,
still getting training from like the British and other people, right?
yeah, of course. But any case, it's large scale. You need to build large scale training, and you need a lot of instructors. You can't close this with like 10 British instructors that teach all Ukrainian army to shoot. You need to build, camps and to do it properly. But now we have a lot of guys with experience and combat experience that can even teach some British guys, to do some stuff that they never did before. So it changed. But I mean that at that point I was not going straight to the conflict, because it was like Crimea, Donbass, very difficult situation, and very difficult situation from the political point, because I understand that Russians are fighting us, but I didn't understand why our government is not willing to fight the Russians in full-scale war and start it. Because I believe until now that if we start war then, maybe it was not going so bad after, because there was only few nationalist battalions which were fighting because they wanted to fight. They don't ask. And they were not looking at the beginning even for the government support, right?
Yeah.
They were just picking, if you see the pictures from the first Azov fights, they were using trucks like KAMAZ, cargo truck,
Right.
with steel plates,
sneakers,
camouflage,
Adidas.
which they buy in the shop, and some firearms, even shotguns from their homes. And this was like how this war looked. So in my opinion, it was something not clear, because the Russians were seizing our territory, doing some guerrilla warfare on our territory, bringing some special forces guys, which they say it's not our guys, but we knew that they are their guys, because Girkin is Russian, FSB agent, and he was the commander of the guerrilla troops in Donbass in these terrorist activities. So it was pretty unclear, but he was fighting since the beginning, because they were believing that we need to do this. And now I can agree that they were right, not me, because we're supposed to fight them from the beginning. But situation was different from now, But since 24 of February, we just wake up in the morning, and we collect all our guys together, all friends, and grab our own arms. And I have 5 firearms at my home and a lot of ammunition, so I was pretty ready.
You had your own. I was told that you brought your own sniper rifle.
Yeah.
You had ammunition as well, grenades. Why did you?
No, grenades. not grenades. Grenades we just pick up at the first day, and it was funny story. We
I was wondering why you had ammunition in your. But you mean bullets?
Yeah.
Bullets.
But
I thought for a moment you meant you had grenades in your house. But I'm not surprised.
Some guys also had grenades in their house, and even grenade launchers in their house. But it's okay, guys who fought Russians before and go back from the war zone, they bring these guys with this.
In the first day, actually, it's difficult to find some grenades or RPGs, and the guys who collect this and hide.
They were first guys who actually have RPGs in the first day of war.
Because the military was underfunded.
Not exactly. Look, the military and all this Western support which we had before the war, these javelins and NLAWs actually from the British government, they sent few planes of NLAWs, which was very significant help in the beginning.
Yeah, this is what you messaged me right at the start.
Yeah. NLAWs was good. NLAW has also bad side that this is a close distance weapon. You need to get close to the
600 meters maximum.
600.
Right.
In tactical, this in Wikipedia you can read that it's up to 800 meters, but in practice it's 600 maximum for the tank. So you need to get close. The tank is able to shoot you from 3.5 kilometers easily. So you need to get close. In the city or in the guerrilla warfare where you have forests and roads and stuff like that, when you can hit tanks surprisingly, it's perfect weapon because it's able to destroy any Soviet tank from one hit. if the hit is good, it's able to destroy the tank immediately, or to make it burn, or at least to make it unavailable or unusable to move forward. So it's good weapon, but at 500-600 meters maximum. But any case, these weapons also United States send us Javelin missiles, which is long-range anti-tank missile. Portable, you can carry it with you, but it's long-range. So these weapons were here in Ukraine and actually were used in Ukraine from the first hours of the war when the Russian tanks start invading. But this was within the army. The Ukrainian army and Ukrainian defensive forces, which is part of the Ukrainian army, this TRO, what we call the territorial defense forces, they are also part of Ukrainian military. So they had these anti-tank weapons, but they were mostly outside of the cities and catching the ground, you know, outside of the cities, trying to stop Russians there. Here in Kyiv, in the city, for us, civilian guys at that moment, we have no option of coming somewhere and telling, okay, give us 3 NLOs and show us how to use it and we will hit Russian tanks. So we were looking for at least something, and first thing we found was grenades.
What's the story of finding the grenades?
The grenades, the funny story was that we took them from the police. From the police, and the police took this from gangsters.
Confiscate the gun.
This was part of the criminal case, okay? That these grenades were part of the criminal.
In moment, Kyiv was loose like 1, 2 or 3 days. Police, take it. Give of us a little ammunition from Kalashnikov and take it, grenades, take it all. Please.
We like exchange. We give them ammunition. We had ammunition from his friends actually. We had ammunition for the AK, which is like armor piercing, a steel core, okay. And police has less lethal, not less, it's lethal, but it's less penetrating ammunition. So we gave to police some bullets that can penetrate armor. It's not big difference, okay? The usual bullets and this bullet, it's like 30%, maybe 20% difference in penetration. But it's, you know, it's moral. They think that they can hit Russian soldiers, so it's enough. Okay?
Because it makes them feel good.
So yeah, it makes them feel good and makes them feel, you know, that they can resist. So we give them bullets and they give us grenades. And grenades was part of the criminal case. They just took it from, they seized it from some gangsters, and it was kept in the, you know, evidence room. So we just took grenades from evidence room. This was the first grenades box that we have. It was like 12 or 24 grenades, something like that. And the whole box of Russian, you know, military grenades. And
after these grenades,
what?
After that, these grenades we give for our friends from
special forces. Yeah,
because
the problem
they
was that
not have the grenades.
Right.
Even
did you get them? You have friends in the police, right? Like,
I have friends. No, police we joined after 3 weeks of war. First day and 3 weeks of war. Since the first day of war and 3 weeks, we were together with Ukrainian special forces. It's an anti-terrorist group, which I had also friends in. That's not that we came from the street and tell, okay guys, we are with you, because this is
I remember when I met you before, you were telling me about you had a friend of the police whose hand got shot in a raid, and so I knew you had friends in the police.
Look, because of shooting the shooting sport and being instructor for the firearms for like whole since 2014 that I living in Kyiv, I was always training with people and training myself and training other guys to shoot. So I have friends almost in all law enforcement in Ukraine, not because I cooperate with them or something. Just we shoot together and it's my good friends. So I had friends in SBU, I have friends in military, friends in police special forces and policemen and whatever. But we, first day, we were like moving all around Kyiv and collecting firearms because we understood that shooting Russian tanks from my sniper rifle or from my carbine, which is semi-automatic AR-15, it's good, you can kill soldiers, but it's not enough to stop, you know, infantry with tanks and APCs, armored personnel carriers and stuff like that. And I understood clearly that they will be in the city. This was also my, I underestimate the power of the Ukrainian military, because I was sure that Russia has so much power that they will seize, at least they will try to seize Kyiv, and they will come to the center of the Kyiv and will shoot them here. I was sure that we will win this fight because it's very difficult to take the city of 3 million people. Not 3 million actually.
Half of the city ran away. Yeah. But it was even better, more space and less civilians on the fire.
I remember, we going on car in the middle of Kyiv.
Yeah, towards center.
For his friends from anti-terror group, and road is clear. Some random cars destroyed, DTP,
few cars,
but in another side of get out from the city
toward Lviv, toward western Ukraine, it's like so 4 lines, of cars. Massive, huge,
Huge traffic jam.
Yeah.
All toward
and Ukraine. Hey, why we run away? Moron! Need to fight!
He was screaming because it was on his side, in Ukraine it's not like in Great Britain, it was like right side view, they are on left side, so he was opening the window and screaming like, you fucking gays, you run away, you morons! And they're like standing in the car, so everyone waiting. Actually, these people, it was a big tragedy because not all of them make it to the western Ukraine, because Russians seized this part of road in 2 days.
Right.
So first day,
I didn't know they
you
took
can.
the road to Lviv.
They took the road to Lviv. M06. This is highway called M06. It's Kiev Chop in original. In Soviet time, it was called Kiev Chop, and this is one of the main highways in Ukraine. Okay, it's M06. There is M01, M02, M02. So like from Kiev. So this road to Chop, which is from Kiev to western Ukraine, was under Russian control in 2 days. Like in 26 February, they already seized Hostomel and Bucha, part of Bucha, and they came up to Kapitanivka, Makarov, and this is already on this highway. So it's not in Kyiv, but it's like 20 kilometers from Kyiv. They already seize big part of the road, and they shoot on civilian cars.
Who know about this, like my friend from my house, he tried to get on this road with family and the kids, and Russians start for shooting for him. He stop machine. He get out.
There was video.
He's hide
And they kill
not military, and they kill him. Him and his wife, but kid survive. After крестный как будет? Крестный.
And godfather.
Godmother take this kid.
The Russians took the kid, and then
they walk for 3 line with dig, and he think how do it with him, with them, and decide walk away.
The Russian soldier let the kid go.
And
it's not always happened, okay? Yeah. There was Russian soldiers who were actually killing the civilians and burying them like outside of the Kyiv. You can find a lot of places where they burn civilian bodies, right, because they wanted to hide who killed them. So they took out of the cars the bodies, they put it on the roadside, bring the tires of the cars, put the tires on the bodies and make it like put flame. They were thinking that this is like, the body will disappear, but the body is just, burned from the outside. But everyone knows, because I told you, the Russian tactics on the first days was no tactics. They were just moving toward Ukrainian cities with large amount of infantry and armor. So they were like moving forward, and they didn't notice or didn't want to notice, because they were sure they will win. They didn't notice all the cameras and you have camera on us right now, and you have same cameras on outside, and a camera in Ukraine on each petrol station, on each gas station, on each shop. You have these cameras, and were working, and they collect information from these cameras to the servers, which are, online acceptable. So there is a lot of videos where Russians shooting civilians.
I wanted, just for context, show us how you would open this packet.
How I open this packet? I wanted to open it at restaurant because you're eating in vegetarian restaurant, so I wanted to open it and start eating, because there was no normal meat in this restaurant.
Don't open it now, but why are you carrying a knife in Kyiv? Are you worried
I always carry a knife, even before war, and that's normal, I use it, and he's carrying the knife.
Gentleman has knife.
I don't want to, to get you shocked.
And gun.
But a lot of he's also carrying handgun, so a lot of guys in Ukraine carry knife even before the war in Kyiv. If you
it's like Arabian tradition.
Yeah, Arab tradition. No, joking, but in Ukraine it's legal. It's not like in UK, not like in Israel. You can carry a knife without explaining why you carry a knife.
That's one of the reasons you like living in Ukraine rather than Israel.
Yes, one of, because also I can carry a sniper rifle, or I can carry a assault rifle. I can have in my house AR-15, which I cannot have in Israel. In Israel, I can have AR-15 when I'm in the army, and I can have handgun if I pass like fucking a few months of selection and talking to government, and this is bullshit. In Ukraine, it's easy. So it's a lot of stuff that. Yeah, and I can ride 300 kilometers per hour and not be in jail like in UK or Europe. So it's and I can remove my identification number from my motorcycle and ride without it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was what I was doing like.
Okay, that's not the law. That's just what you can get away with, I'm guessing.
Yeah. No, I actually never run away from the cops in Ukraine in motorcycle, because it's legal motorcycle. I buy it. It's not stolen or something. I buy it for my money. It's my personal motorcycle. The only reason I remove the plate is because cameras of speed traps. I don't want to pay every day $100 for the speed, So, and my bike, it's like Suzuki Hayabusa. It's impossible to ride it in the conditions of normal traffic, according to the law. I cannot ride it 50 kilometers per hour because it's like half second of moving the gas and the acceleration, and it's already 100. So it's going from 0 to 100 in 3 seconds. So it's difficult to ride such motorcycle on 50 kilometers per hour in the city, or 110 kilometers per hour between the cities. It's stupid. This bike is created to ride 300 kilometers per hour in the highway, so this is what I'm doing. That's why I buy it. So, there is a lot of things in the world that are. That's not that I'm against these laws. I understand where they come from, and I understand that I risk myself, and even I can risk other people when I'm riding 300 kilometers per hour. But this is my choice, And that's what I like.
History.
He wants the history. Okay, so.
Oh no, it's okay. I wanted
First day, no, he just need to go in half hour somewhere to other place.
Well, I was gonna ask him why you joined the Azov all those years ago.
Why?
It's interesting too, yeah.
I always.
First of all, free shawarma.
Yes.
One free shawarma and beer.
I know, and when I get 14 years plus minus, I expect war with Russia, big war, and I love history, and I know process in 1920 centuries,
right.
So I expect war. When he started, I have legal work. My 80% of my friend have legally work. I have, so I little wait. I must get the payment and buy of ammunition,
right.
Equipment, and start. They know have work, so they start early.
Right.
So I joined in Azov in summer in 2014. And start fight. Why in Azov? Volunteer battalion.
Right.
People's around like me who fight in okolo football.
In
Football
hooligans, he was like part also of the hooligan
So
movement.
like friends. Okay, I walked. I don't understand. Before my brothers he wounded in army in civil time in 1996, and he lost his arm. And me, I'm third kid on family, so army don't get myself. So I tried.
He was not supposed to go to the army because his elder brother was injured in the army, and there is law that if someone is injured in the army, you're not supposed to go to the army. So
Yes, I want join super troopers first, like war starting, but in commissariat told me fuck off, go away.
even now in the current time, they sometimes tell people we don't need you. You know, it's some weird stuff because sometimes they took people who don't want to go to war.
Right.
And sometimes
strange.
someone
It's
is
like volunteering to go to war, and he has like physical abilities, and he's that smart and all. He's coming like and telling, okay guys, I'm ready to join the army, there's war going, I want to go to fight, and they say like, we will call you later if we need you.
So
stay home.
I joined Azov. My friends still came here like Azov, and I service like 3 years, less from 3 years. I go home because my wife born a kid, my daughter, and she like cut my balls like.
Wait. She give a kid without your cooperating? She did it alone, or what the fuck? I hear it like this nonsense, you know. I go home because my wife bring a kid, and you were where your balls was, and you stick your dick probably inside to get this kid, no?
Get 2 weeks on trail my home, make kids.
I didn't ask that question. Kolya asked the question. You don't have to answer it.
No, it can be. It's two versions, you know. Or it's not his kid. This is first option. Or it's part of his job as well. So it's like it's supposed to be.
I'm a kid. I return to war, and after when my daughter born, and my wife say like screaming like, oh, or army or family.
It's also a bit too late, you know, to make kid with someone, and they say, and then say, or army, or okay, army. So you're with kid, and
so she proposes came for Mariupol if I want still service.
Right.
But actually, for now, God bless, I decide out from army if my family was in Mariupol. It's tragedy. So I came to home. I start work with veterans of war, and I start work on
he had a foundation, the Ukrainian American Foundation for the
and rehabilitation center.
And
he was working with you know.
Actually, it's funny because I director of rehabilitation center and foundation, and this rehabilitation we work with wounded veterans, and like now we
We are wounded veterans right now, so he like built, you know, base for himself probably, but the only problem was that his rehabilitation center was located in Irpin. But
But
He survived.
It survived and it's not get destroyed.
It wasn't the part of
But
European
now
that you don't have
I go
destruction.
out from this work because I not physically and moral. I not ready for.
Not in good condition to work on this. You know.
Yes.
difficult
So,
also.
like couple days ago, I finished with officially with the director of this rehabilitation center. I now need to find a new job. Look, and with Kolya, we for a couple days before war, we meet with his and my friends, cooperate like 10 or 12 peoples. We have all guns, civil cars, make ready for ammunition, some equipment, some drones. We start buying for our group, and 2014 we all be ready, plus minus. I hope war start in 25 because I need evacuation my ex-wife, his daughter, my ex girlfriend.
Wait, she ex-girlfriend now or is
Yes.
It's the one you showed me.
Fortunately, yes. Fortunately, yes. That's one of the reasons why this guy is still sitting here and talking to you and mentally, you know, close to be normal, like not normal because it's normal, but
after wounded, all my life is change.
a little bit.
Very hard changes, but still okay. I принимаю это.
He accepted.
I accepted in and work for fighting. Дальше.
Okay, so I just remind you that the question was why you join Azov.
Okay.
All your life,
the question. That's
not all your life since you was
Azov
born.
was a school.
Azov was good. You know, I understand why people join Azov. For example, I never joined, but I understand because I have not only him. I have a few more guys who were in Azov. This was very, as I describe you, that army and police and Ukrainian government were not so clear in what they did in 2014 when the war began, because this is the same war. Now we have just large scale and it was small scale, but it's fucking same enemy, same reasons, same targets and same everything. So Azov was one of the battalions. They can tell whatever they want in Western media or Southern media or whatever media, that this is Nazi battalion, this is like far-right extremist and stuff like that, and this really happened in Azov, but not whole battalion, it's like part of the people. But in any case, this battalion was really straightforward, built for war, and the commander of the battalion, I'm not a fan of Beletsky or someone else in Azov, but as I heard from guys who were fighting in the battalion, they were really taking care of each fighter.
Right.
They were really taking care of preparing the fighters for the war. They were bringing instructors from the Western armies, allies and stuff like that, to teach people, to train people. He was actually taught by American officers,
The Georgian officers,
Georgian guys from special forces, American veterans, British, Canadian. They bring guys who were experts in kind of warfare, and they start to learn everything about war. It wasn't just, you know, a group of hooligans who get guns and start shooting to all directions and running
from
like idiots.
2015, I'll change.
Right.
Now it became the battalion in National Guard of Ukraine, which is official battalion National Guard of Ukraine. It's not paramilitary movement or something. You need to spread between Azov political movement and Azov battalion, because Azov battalion is part of National Guard and it's part of Ukrainian interior forces, which belongs to Ukrainian Minister of Interior and to Ukrainian president. They do orders of Ukrainian government, not of Andrei Beletsky, who was like author of and and ideologist and creator of the battalion. So I understand why people joined, because this was the most ideologically and technically prepared unit to fight Russians, to do it immediately and to start improving.
And Mariupol shows them.
And Mariupol now in 2022 show how brave, courage and professional these guys was, because they fight like all, it was like 3 months, almost 3 months they fight in the city, which was closed from all directions. They have sea from south and Russians from all directions. And they still were able to defend themselves, to kill like dozens of Russians, to burn tanks. You see these videos from Mariupol. So this is professional battalion, and it's not surprising me that young people with good conditions and good mental conditions, they go toward the Azov Battalion, because it was good movement for this period of time. Now you can have a lot of choices, because the Ukrainian army became better, Ukrainian special forces became better. But at this moment, guy who was unexperienced in military, has no background in military, to join Ukrainian special forces, he should pass like 6 months of training of all this, psychologists, Soviet training, papers, bring dozens of papers to ask people, please take me. And in Azov Battalion, he's coming like telling him, I'm a guy who willing to fight. Okay, come join us, and we will prepare you for the fight. So this is good option for these people. So okay, the next question.
I was gonna say, so that made me think of another question. But if you don't have much time, we can finish the story you were telling in the restaurant. You said it before.
So the story was that we moved to the new position, and we.
I'll just recap for continuity. So you were fighting. Also, you were fighting over a very small area of land. Like you said, it's proper like First World War tactics. It's like trench warfare.
It's not our area of warfare. It was area of warfare of the Infantry Brigade of Ukrainian Armed Forces.
Right.
But we joined them because he has friends in southern district.
We help him. We have more ammunition, optic, drones, sniper rifles. But we have like 10 peoples. But we have equipment who collect for us people of Ukraine, like for infantry maybe.
We had lot of equipment to observe, to snipe, to eliminate
thermal vision
and drone and stuff like that, and people who can work with this actually. So from us it was good support for the usual Ukrainian infantry who was holding this territory, and for them it was good that they have us, because it's never enough good people on the front line, it's at this moment, it was spring of 2022, they were outnumbered in everything.
Right.
Okay, our forces were outnumbered in everything, in soldiers, in APCs, because we don't have almost APCs, tanks we don't have even one, they had 4 at least just in front of us. They had artillery, they had mortars, they had rocket artillery, and they had no limits on using this artillery because they have shells for it and they shoot every day to all direction like stupid idiots. They shoot in any direction, even where there was no soldiers, just shooting somewhere. Okay, so this was like period that we were outnumbered, so the infantry was happy that we have them, that they have us with them, and we were happy that we have
because we
positions and we have someone to fight, and we have visible clear vision on the enemy, and we can work. Because when we were in Kyiv, we were trying to join some different forces on the outside of Kyiv to defend Kyiv and stuff like that, but there was in the first day there was big, disinformation and
friendly fire,
leak of communication between forces.
So you cannot just
organize jets.
Yeah, you cannot just take your people, even if you have squad. You have like 30 people with you, or 20, or 15, or 40, it doesn't matter. You can take your own people, and you can even communicate with your own people. You can even have some tactics with your own people. But since you're coming to the front line,
Right.
there is different guys from Ukrainian army or other units. They don't care about you. They don't know who you are, and even they can shoot you because since they observe and see some armed people which are not belonging to them, they understand. Okay, this may be Russians. Let's shoot them. So this is difficult war. It happened actually in Kyiv. So we tried to stick ourselves to some big units to fight Russians, but it was really difficult. First time we got to Russians and see Russians, it was near to Brovary, outside of Kyiv. It's city of Brovary on the eastern part of Kyiv. And Russians came close. Russians were actually stopped there. Big tank unit were destroyed in the entrance of the Brovary, and they start holding positions nearby. So we joined like 72 infantry brigade, mechanized infantry brigade, and we start working with them. So that was the first time that we came close to Russian, but it still was not so close because it was like 3.5 to 3 kilometers from us.
You make recon stuff.
We make recon,
artillery,
drone, all the stuff, but you cannot take your light weapons and go against tanks. In this position in southern Ukraine, we had a clear positions in front of Russians, and then we first realized that Russians are stupid enough to walk and to show up from their positions like wild animals. It's too stupid because smart person cannot do this. They were like thinking that if it's 900 meters between me and them, I cannot hit them, and this is not true because normal Western weapons with normal Western optics gives you the option to hit even on 1.5 kilometer if you have enough skills. So on 900 meters, it's not so hard hit. He's seen it. It's not something impossible. You can hit wherever you want. If you see a straight, figure of mankind, you can hit it. So we start hitting them, and this was good for us also, that we may be useful. Because in Kyiv, we tried to defend Kyiv. We were sure that we're going to fight in center. We prepare ourselves to fight. We grabbed all our friends together. We found transport. We crowd found.
We prepare position actually.
We prepare position, defending
buildings,
buildings,
24
whatever.
floors. It's like
it was good. We were prepared good for the combat. At least I don't know how it would go if the Russian will attack Kyiv, but we were prepared for a fight. But we have no chance to fight because Russians never came inside of the Kyiv, and we start trying to go outside toward them to meet them outside of the Kyiv, and then they start fleeing. It was not so long period because they start like fleeing away from Kyiv. We start going after them, step by step, grabbing their stuff. We start finding grenade launchers, anti-tank missiles, grenades, ammunition. We start grabbing. We became rich guys on ammunition, and but we still can't find like straight contact with Russians because it's stupid to go just forward and to look. It's Russian tactics to go forward until we get hit. Okay, this is idiotic tactics. So on south, we decide after Russian fleet from Kyiv. I told him also, and he told all our guys that we need to move outside of Kyiv because Kyiv became like now. Police, checkpost, where are you going, why you carry guns, what's the purpose, give me your papers, you don't have license, you don't have license for the grenade launcher. Okay, so this was becoming stupid because all these people who run away, they start coming back and the police start catching. It's normal process, but it's not good for us at this point. So I told let's move somewhere where the Russians still fight, and we have these places in a lot regions of Ukraine. So he found his friends in southern Ukraine from the Ukrainian military and asked them if we can join you. We are policemen officially. We were already policemen officially. We have documents. Let's join. Let us join you and help you, and we will get fight. So we get these positions, and we were really outnumbered. In large, outnumbered. I was really shocked. I can ask him when when the guy from intelligence showed us the disposition of the forces, my first question was like, why they are not attacking? Because according to all military, logics, they were supposed to attack and fucking smash us because they had so much more power that if they just attack and have even basic infantry tactics, we have nothing to stop them except of our will to kill them.
2 BMP.
Yeah, 2 BMP, one of which was not, the turret was not turning properly. It's like 1.5 APC versus 24 APCs.
Right.
24 versus 2. It's fucking, it's not just outnumbered, it's outnumbered in mass,
Yeah.
And my first question was like, why they not attack? They have everything for attack. They say, if they will try to attack, we will see it like 24 hours before. I say, how the fuck you can see 24 hours before that they want to attack? He explained me the tactics of Russian, and I was like fucking surprised. I was thinking that they are much better because they work in Soviet doctrine, which means that they need to accept this attack plan.
Feast, collect attack feast, make column.
They need preparation which cannot be hidden even. They need to take all the armor to the back position, to form column, to prepare 4 different plans of action, what will happen if, then to give this plan to the senior high rank officer. Senior high rank officer need to sign to approve this fucking shit, and then they start attacking, and since they get hit in first APC, they turn around and go back. So this is very idiotic tactics for Russians, which was surprise for me. But on the other hand, they had a supreme firepower over us. Right. If our mortars were working sometimes to somewhere, literally, because I never see good hit from a Ukrainian mortar, okay? Maybe it was, but I've seen that they are hitting somewhere in this part, but I don't know who they hit there. I never seen from drone or from eyesight or scope that they hit some, actually Russian tank or Russian position with the mortar. So they have also guys who have hands like this, but the amount of mortars and the amount of shells make it more effective because they drop like every day hundreds of mortars on all the area, and they shoot tanks, they shoot artillery. Our fortune was that we were not big unit together with the infantry. Right. We had not a big amount of people and armor on our part, so we were not good target for the heavy artillery. That's why we not get hit by heavy artillery. I mean this howitzers and rocket artillery, multiple rocket systems, they hit to the sides. I've seen in the night that they are shooting from here to here. You see it good in the night when the rockets fly. But they always hit the big concentrations of Ukrainian army or civilian infrastructure on the left or on the right side. Our central part, because we were few and we were dropped to all the territory, all the terrain, this was good idea because we were small target for this, big weapons. So we just get hit by mortars and stuff like that, shells.
So just in this particular battle, so the story you were telling over lunch, where you guys got injured, you joined this even though you knew you were massively outnumbered and even though you knew the Russians had way more weapons. Yeah. And you still took the risk to go in. But based on, what made you decide to go ahead with that particular fight? Because were you calculating that you thought their strategy is so bad it's a reasonable risk, or were you just okay, I'm going to die anyway and I'll...
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about him. My opinion was at the first day what I heard, and it was 5 in the morning, and I don't sleep because I don't sleep all night. Right. From 23 to 24, I go to sleep at 3:30 a.m. I was just until morning. I was not sleeping. I was preparing some lists what I still need to buy for the war. I was sure that war will come. I didn't want to believe in this, but logically, and I was calculating that this is not training. They are preparing real war, large scale war. So at these first days, we were outnumbered by large in scale of state versus state and army versus army, but there was no choice.
Right.
Like, what you can do? I always describe it as Israel versus Arabs.
Right.
Israel is a small state which has today 9 million. In 60s it was like 4 million people.
Right.
Arabs surrounding Israel, it's like 8 enemy states which are bigger than Israel. Almost all of them are bigger than Israel in many millions and square meters, and still Israel win because there is no place to go back. You need just to defend your ground or to die. Okay, you will die any case. From the first day we start realizing that this war is not about what Putin described. It's not about to come and change government or something.
Right.
It's about to come and kill every Ukrainian who is not willing to be a Russian slave or Russian.
Which is pretty much all of it.
I don't know. We never see, but it's according to what happened in Irpin, in how you call it, Izum,
Right.
and Borodyanka and other places in Ukraine. It's very big amount of people, including civilians, kids, women, which were killed in cold blood, not accidentally, killed, shot.
With their hands behind their backs.
Hands behind the backs, prisoners of war. They are exterminating Ukrainian population, and sometimes even Russian citizens, and even native Russian speakers or whatever. Maybe even supporters of Russia, because they don't ask. Okay, when the car is passing
Nearby to the force and they're shooting.
Many pro-Russian people
pro-Russian guy
will die from Russian troops.
Russian shells. Okay, the artillery shell doesn't
care what you believe.
So that's what happened. We had no choice, and we wanted to give them fight. So even knowing that we are outnumbered, we still decided to go fight. And as you described, I was sure that we will die in like first few weeks of war. Really, I tell you what I felt. I felt that there will be fight inside of the Kyiv, that there will be massive firefights inside of the Kyiv with the artillery and tanks and everything, and that we will hope to destroy as much as we can, to kill as many Russians as we can, and then probably we will die because they are stronger. It's stupid to say that they are not stronger than us, because they have like 10 times budget, 10 times tanks, 10 times warplanes and stuff like that. So to me it was clear that we are outnumbered, but to run away, it's like not being, normal man. What the fuck you running away from? They came to your home. It's not that you need to go to protect someone else's democracy, like now you expect British soldiers to come to fight with us. They're not supposed. But you, in your home, when the invaders is coming to your home and raping your women, killing the kids and stuff, what you need to do? You need to kill them, that's it, even if you will die. So it's very, very easy. It's not heroism or something, it's not being hero. It's being normal man, standing your ground, nothing special. To me at least. So maybe he has some other opinion, but...
For him it's just fun. Okay.
No, I same mind. I before war I collect money for a good car. I found a Land Cruiser.
He wanted to buy a Toyota Land Cruiser, like that.
Land Cruiser, but war is still. I get my money to family, ex-wife, brother, mother, like in the prepare of evacuation, him. And like I collect maybe $2,000, and with Kolya we show was our money. If
someone get killed,
Russians
like
kill them, I grab the money of him, and if I was killed, Kolya will grab my money. So
to me it was important because I had I collect some money for my life and from my past works and stuff like that, so I had some money on my credit cards and stuff like that. And then when the war started, I say like, no way, I'm leaving my credit card on me, then some fucking Russian killing me and taking my card and going to fucking vacation with his family and paying with my credit card. No way, like I'm not letting it to happen, you know. And my cash also, I told like, if cash will be on me, he will kill me, he will take my cash, and even after I'm dead and it's not important to me anymore, I don't believe in some other life form or something. I told like, at least you take my money, not fucking Russian. I don't want Russian to take my money from my body, you know. So he always told me my money is here. I always told him my money is here in case that we get killed in action, like grab my money. Or that was, you know, and the money from the bank account, I just transfer it to other bank account and give my best friend in Israel like all the credentials to enter this bank account. In case that I will be dead, like take the money, give to my father, or take somewhere, I don't know, take to yourself at least, but not to fucking Russians that will spend my money after my death. So this was you know, we were ready to die. It's not something that we are not kids, you know, we are not 16 years old that we believe that we will kill all the enemies like in computer game and survive.
I hope, but
we hope.
That not that we are looking to die.
With Kolya, we prepare some points of my flat is more close to front line in Kyiv.
In Kyiv.
So I prepare them some food, some ammunition in my home. If we decide to vent my flat, recharge some ammunition and food. So after we put some in Kolya house, he most more close to center of Kyiv, and after the last station is be our base, some more ammunition, more food, Kyiv, like three lines of defense, like from our own apartments,
different places.
The funny stuff was I was always making joke with him, like telling him, okay, your house is next. It's like
just a few kilometers away,
like 10 kilometers of front line. They're like, fuck.
I was going to our guys. Our guys were holding positions on the edge of Kyiv, like Kyiv outskirts, in the direction of Bucha and Stoyanka and that side. So there was like Akademgorodok, it's last metro station in Kyiv toward that direction. So we held positions there, and I heard at some morning that the Grads, the MLRS, Russian rockets are coming close, because you see the explosions and you hear it. So it's like few kilometers from Kyiv, they start bombing some positions of Ukrainians or whatever. They can bomb also without positions of Ukrainians. This is not exactly, they can bomb anything. But I see that they are shooting, you know, rocket launchers on Kyiv, like already outside of the Kyiv. And his house is like few kilometers from there, like 3 to 4 kilometers from there. So I told him like, Russians still need to make like 3 kilometers closer, and your house will be already in the zone of conflict, and they can reach you with the rockets. So prepare that you're losing your apartment. He said like, no way, they will not bomb my apartment. This was funny. He said, I repair my apartment like a few years ago. I spent my money to repair this apartment. Now some fucking Russian rocket will destroy it. So this was like really funny stuff, you know.
Your apartment is okay now, right?
Yes, family okay. I find the way of evacuate them. My friend go into car, so they take all went to east, went to west.
To west, not of Ukraine. They go outside of Ukraine, no?
Your daughter and your wife are living in Western Europe.
Daughter and wife in first day of war, right. They evacuate my ex girlfriend, and my family with my neighborhoods.
Neighbors?
Nephews.
Neighborhoods.
Neighborhoods.
They stay like
English is difficult.
Scene
dude.
7th and
Russian
I get wounded. So.
No, it's okay.
Я не очень хорошо говорю по-русски.
Да.
So
Yeah.
after they
Говоришь английский?
go out, they after go out, and I cry in my flat like, oh fuck.
You know, the only problem to me, personally to me, I don't like these wounds that I have.
Just show the camera your wounds, because if you want
it's
to.
like one here on the hand, one here. It goes through.
Right, it
okay.
went through your leg.
This is entrance. This is out, and this is already the surgery after. And this is the problematic because it wound the nerve,
Right.
which is going here.
So you can't move your
And
foot.
then I can do this. I can do this on this foot.
And if you want to, I mean, you
my
can show
head.
the camera the
And my head, it's like injury over here. So what I start to talk that to me, it's bad that I have these injuries, not just because of injuries themselves. Okay, I can live with these injuries. I'm not like half man, you know, don't having both hands or both. I can take care of myself. I actually take care of myself. I live alone. So I buy products or whatever. I walk here, talk to you, and I'm still good. Okay, I'm injured, but I'm still good. I can actually hold a weapon and kill Russians even now. I cannot run and I cannot carry something heavy for a long distance walk, but I still can take some position in the city and shoot fucking Russians. So to me, the worst thing in these injuries is that I feel that I've not killed enough Russians.
Oh, really?
I just wanted to kill more Russians.
Right.
That
If I
You
sacrifice,
can!
if I sacrifice my
If
health,
we was not wounded.
And then if you were killed,
That's
you
what
wouldn't
I
be able
mean,
to do
that-
anything. I mean, I don't
that's
know
what
how
I
you think
mean.
about
That
it.
to me,
I feel sorry for getting wounded, not because I got wounded, okay? I was ready to get wounded, but I wanted to kill more to make them less powerful and less dangerous for us, because each one of us should kill at least 5 to 7, 10, 12, 15 Russians, according to the scale of Ukraine and Russia, because we have like 35, 37 million people at the beginning. I'm not taking the Crimea and Luhansk and Donetsk region because we cannot take guys from there to our army, okay? They are still Ukrainians, they are still Ukrainian territory, but we cannot mobilize them. So I think we have approximately up to 40 million people. This is not more than this. And Russia has 145 million people, which means that at least 3 times they have more personnel. They have 10 times more tanks and aircrafts. So each one of us,
No, less.
supposed to kill.
a lot of Russians, okay, to make them unable to continue. It's not because we want to conquer Russia or something. Okay?
course
I
not,
never
yeah.
wanted to go to conquer Moscow or something. Okay, I want them to burn. I want them to get destroyed from inside or to separate for different countries. It's okay, but I never wanted to attack Moscow or to attack Belarus or whatever fucking shit they are talking. That they were preparing operations of attacking Belarus. Or this is most stupid stuff that you can. It's like Poland was supposed to attack. Third Reich of Adolf Hitler in 39. They say that
I
Poland
didn't even know that was a narrative.
there was actually the war started with Poland from Polish forces attacking German raider, but this was German special forces in Polish uniform. It was casus belli.
Oh, okay.
to get reason to
To declare war on Poland, Hitler killed his own guys in the raider station with the Nazi special forces wearing Polish uniforms. And they say that Poland attacked Germany and now Germany attacked back for Poland. This is what they do actually. All these little dictators, you know, they work same. So Putin also, and this Belarus idiot who is president of Belarus for 26 years or whatever, he told that Ukraine was preparing a large attack versus.
Now I show the map.
Yeah, he told like, I will show you the map.
From 4 positions that Ukraine were preparing the attack. So we never look to cease to conquer Russia, but we need to destroy them, to not get destroyed by ourselves, and to stop them killing our people. We need them to be destroyed, and this is only option to stop this war. Some people believe that this is also in Western media, in your media, guys. I see this very oftenly, that guys are talking like Putin's war, a war of Putin. This is Putin's war. It's not fucking Putin's war. It's not Putin himself raping women here and killing children in the cars. It's not Putin himself shooting artillery. It's not Putin driving each Russian tanks and destroying cities like Mariupol or Izum or Borodyanka or whatever, tens of cities in Ukraine destroyed, not by Putin himself. It's not Putin sitting in every equipment or a part of Russian military equipment. It's Russians. So we have war with Russia and Russian people, not with Putin. Putin may be the leader, Putin may be the author of the propaganda, Putin may be the influencer of these guys, but they are doing this. Like, you can't tell that Nazi Germany is Adolf Hitler. Nazi Germany is Nazi Germany. It's German people who listen to Adolf Hitler and make what they make. So to me it's clear that to be winners and to defend ourselves, we need to kill as many Russians as possible, because Russian people are not smart enough to get conclusions like Western armies. Some Western armies, if they go somewhere, like French guys go to Vietnam, got massed, and they say, okay, we don't need Vietnam, we go out, okay, right. This was mistake. American can try to conquer some other state like Afghanistan, then they understand that there is no reason anymore to stay in Afghanistan. We already killed Osama, we spent billions of dollars, we got our soldiers killed, okay, let's take the troops out of Afghanistan. Now, Russians are unable to do such decisions. They cannot tell that we were mistaken and we should not go to Ukraine. Let's take our troops out. Let's give back to Ukraine all their territories and stop the war. This is no option for the Russian government and for the Russian mentality and for the Russian people. They will fight till they can fight. Right. Only thing can stop them is violence. They need to be beaten so hard that they cannot continue the fucking war and start dying inside of Russia and start fighting their own government to stop it. This is only way. No other way. No talking, no conversation, no diplomatic influence, no sanctions. It's good to have sanctions on Russia because, hey, they have less money to spend on war. But it's not something, I don't believe that sanctions can stop this idiot. They can eat shit. They can eat, trees, leaves from the trees, but they will still they grab their arms and attack like grandparents. We will kill everyone. We will conquer the Europe. We don't have nothing to eat, but we are aggressive enough to conquer Poland. Yeah. That's how it works.
Also, because the chain of command is so bad, because the information is not getting passed up the ranks accurately. So the people leading it, as a friend of a friend yesterday was saying how Russia has this history of serfdom. It's a country that has a culture of slavery and following people en masse and herd mentality. Whereas Ukraine is independent-minded people, like you're describing. The Azovs just organized themselves and they're super effective, and they weren't getting it from the government. And for that reason, it's another reason why the Russians will just continue indefinitely, because no one has good information. And individual soldiers are not making good decisions for themselves, and then the commanders are not making good decisions because they don't get information from the soldiers.
Yeah, exactly. But the reason, I believe, that reason of fighting Ukraine is that Putin cannot have a good example of Western state, which was ex-Soviet state and become Western state.
Yeah.
Same people, same mentality as he described, okay? It's not my words. They think that we are same people. They think that we are one nation.
Right.
Russians and Ukrainians, they always describe in their television and propaganda that this is our people. They are just, misinformed by Europeans, but they are part of Russian culture. They are part of Russian people. We need to defend them. They are like defending us, okay? Destroying our cities, killing our women, and children is like defending us, for in their opinion. So Putin cannot have an option that there is Western Ukraine, I mean not Western geographically, Western mentally and economically and culturally Western state in Russian border, which show to whole world and to whole Russia other way, that you can live in democratic state, you can have normal elections, you can have freedom of speech, you can have, they are talking about gay parade, that this is like something very, very dangerous and killing the culture and stuff like that in Russia, that hey, look, in Netherlands they have gays, so what? Then in Netherlands, like a grandparent is getting like 3,000 euro pension. In Russia you're getting like $150 and eating from the leaves from the trees. But you talk about gays in Netherlands, maybe it's better to be gay in Netherlands than straight in Russia, okay? Maybe it's better, I don't know. It's difficult question, where it's better. But I see that these states where gays can walk freely on the streets are living much better than the states where everyone is going to the church and hitting his head in the ground and telling the great Putin and our Lord and our Christian church or whatever other churches. So it's very stupid. They can't offer nothing to their own people, and they don't want their own people to see any other option except of this tyranny and this total regime like Stalin and grandparents and great history, Ivan Grozny, Huyozny, and this. They never been state for the people. They've been people for the state, and this is the main option and main idea, and they cannot have any example of this idea destroyed on their border. They already had, actually, because they lose it in 90s, where Russia was very difficult situation economically after Soviet Union collapse. So they have this in Baltic states, right. And Baltic states are living better than Russia, and they don't have gas, they don't have oil, but they have civilization, they have a European mindset, and they are living better. Poland, which was East European Warsaw Pact state, is living much better than Ukraine and Russia together.
Yeah.
And not because of Poland has gas and oil and diamonds and gold, whatever the Russia has. Okay, they are living better because they have European mentality and Western style, democracy and Western style, whatever you say, capitalism on all this stuff that Russians are so angry about. So this was the main reason. Not that they need territory; they have enough territory. They want to set us free. Okay, go better set something free in Russia. You're living in trash can. Yeah. Your state looking like trash can. There is Moscow, which is like beautiful city with rich apartments and most expensive cars in the world and stuff like that. But you need to go just like 80 kilometers from Moscow and you will be in the middle of some village where is no road. People are walking in mud and the cars are getting hard to pass from the street to street, from house to house, even inside of the city. And people are living in poor conditions, and they are drunk, and they are working in the same work for 40 years with no change and no future for their kids. Let's set them free. Do something for your own people. What the fuck you're trying to invade other countries? You're not able to make your country even normal, even normal. I'm not telling about rich or good, normal. And you have everything for that. You have oil, you have gas, you have diamonds, you have gold, you have uranium, you have all this Mendeleev scale of different components from whatever. You can produce whatever you want. You don't have brain, and you don't have will, and you don't have culture. This is the main problem. This is what I see. They need to prove themselves only by force and by taking by force some parts of other states to show to their own people like we are strong. They are scared of us. These British imperialists, they want to kill us all. They make bio laboratory and want to send poisoned chicken to Russia and kill us all. It's so stupid, they talk on TV the shit that is even not good for the comedy show, it's and they are serious people like holding billions of dollars. You can talk hours about this, but I see this as only reason, not any other reason that they describe. Not that Ukraine want to attack them. Not about they told we cannot give an option to Ukrainians to have NATO rockets on Russian border because Moscow is like 600 kilometers from the Ukraine, and then then NATO missiles can hit Moscow very fast, and we will be not able to respond. You fucking stupid idiot. Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania is NATO states. They can put whatever they want, and this is 150 kilometers from St. Petersburg, the hometown of Mr. Putin and the ex-capital of Russian Empire, and up to 500 or 600 kilometers from Moscow. It's pretty same distance. Why should NATO not put nuclear rockets in Estonia or Latvia or whatever? Why should NATO not hit you from Sweden or Finland, which joined NATO in this aggression right now? Okay, you stupid idiot, you bring NATO closer to your border from the north. What the fuck is your strategy? What are you talking about? These Russian people, they always say that Putin have some special strategy, that he is like mind genius, which like do steps that he calculate the next and the next after next step. What is your calculation? You started war which brings all your neighbors to NATO now. You are surrounded by NATO from all sides now, except China, which is more dangerous to me, to Russia as NATO. So what is your strategy? What are you trying to do? Nothing. You are nothing. Your state is nothing. And you're trying to do shit. You try to do violence. You try to behave like there is 19th or 18th or 16th centuries outside, and this is your main will, and this is your main show, and this is the only shit that you can produce and you can do to other nations. That's it. And always been, not just Putin, what I started. Okay? It's not war of Putin, it's ideology and culture, or culture so-called, of this territory for centuries. Something that Western states forgot in 17th century, okay, these imperialistic wars of conquering other states and sucking resources from there. It's something that already, cancelled by Western culture like 200 years ago. Russians, oh no, this is our way. we found something new. We will conquer all Europe. Okay, try it. And they say that they fight NATO. What NATO? What NATO you can fight? You're a useless piece of shit. You cannot fight Ukraine. Ukraine, you cannot conquer Ukraine. You're 7 months stuck in 4 villages in Donbas area. You're still not able to fight in Donetsk region, which was described like the first target of the operation, Luhansk and Donetsk, to set them free. The Ukrainian forces are still controlling the half of Donetsk region. Up to the city of Donetsk, there is line of front line. Ukrainian forces are still holding it now. What NATO you want to fight? You useless piece of shit. You're not able to fight the state which don't have modern aviation, modern air force, don't have modern tanks, don't have modern artillery, little bit that was given by the West, okay, and it's not enough. It's like how many these HIMARS, 18 pieces of HIMARS are making a difference on the front line of 1,500 kilometers.
Right.
18 HIMARS. United States has 350 HIMARS and some 900 MLRS system, which is similar, just on other chases. Who you want to fight? This American Air Force, if they put their planes up and start hitting Russian targets, they will eliminate your army like Saddam Hussein's army in 1 month, and there will be nothing. There will be no command, no headquarters, no generals, no connection between forces, no forces at all, surrounded without supplies, like it happened usually when Western allies start fighting some Eastern idiots or Arab state tyranny or something. So only reason the Western allies are not destroying you because they don't need you. They have nothing to do in your country. They have nothing to do in your Russia. All these stories that everyone wants to conquer Russia. To conquer for what? Why should British soldier go to Siberia? Okay, what's there? Wood? What, the gas? What? Why?
Yes.
Why should modern British or American soldier go and conquer Russia, which is like biggest state in the world by square kilometers? Why? No reason. The only reason they don't doing this is they don't need it, they don't want it, and you have fucking nuclear bombs which are defending your freedom, because no one wants to destroy whole world because of nuclear war. That's the only reason. That's it.